Logan, what did you do?
Charles, the world is not the same as it was. Mutants. They're gone now.
What is up, guys? Today we'll be reviewing Logan. Virgil, what'd you like about it? What'd you look forward to, and did it live up to your expectations?
Well, considering the last two X-Men movies, the Wolverine was pretty good.
I liked that one.
Origins was a dog turd. But considering how those two movies went, my anticipation for Logan was I had faith that it was going to be a pretty good movie. If it was at least as good as the Wolverine, I would have been happy. But it blew that out of the water. But when I was going in, I was a little skeptical, but it turned out to be way better than I expected. Par excellence.
I gotta agree with that. I enjoyed Origins. Whatever that says about my character, it wasn't that bad of a movie. But it lived up to the expectations I had. I really liked the Wolverine. That was great, and it was by far it exceeded that movie greatly.
Hugh Jackman did a really great job. He was jacked
As ever.
He's gotten bigger with every movie. And Patrick Stewart did a really damn good job as Professor X, as he always does, no matter what movie it is.
I think this may have been his best performance as Professor X.
Honestly, it may be his best performance in a movie in a while.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't do movies that often. But yeah, I agree totally. This is probably one of Patrick Stewart's best moments. Like, I think he should at least get a nomination for Best Supporting Actor.
Easy. Everything was great about this movie. Yeah. The setting, the way it felt, how emotional it was.
The little girl who played X-23 was amazing.
She's legit.
I was going to say a swear word, but I'm trying not to do that too much here. But
she was awesome.
She was. I mean, she was convincing.
I wish I could do some of the stuff that she does in this
Even
movie.
when she goes all hardcore out with with her claws and stuff, she's believable when she gets angry.
Another thing I just realized, you watch this movie and you see that girl, she is still childlike in her rage and how she fights.
Oh, she throws tantrums. Unfortunately, her tantrums involve adamantium claws.
It's fantastic.
Stephen Merchant as Caliban did a really good job. I always like Stephen Merchant is a very good actor and he's a hilarious comedian, and he did a really damn good job as Caliban. You learn some stuff about his past, and of course, if you watch Apocalypse, he's in there as well, and he clearly has a shady past, and then you learn a bit more about that shady past. By the time you see him in this movie, his whole point of view has changed, and he does something pretty heroic at one point in the movie.
Yeah, they reveal his shady past and make it a little bit shadier. I think he was a pretty cool character, honestly.
Funny too. He added some great comic relief, and that's another thing about the movie that has not really been mentioned as much. Here and there it has, but it's actually a pretty funny movie, considering how sad the movie is.
For such an emotionally distraught movie, it makes you feel so empty. Anyways, it has some very funny moments in it, and some of those came from Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman. Some of them came from Caliban. In them, it was good.
It's my cat. Just ignore it. There was some great character interaction between all the characters, the little girl and Hugh Jackman. That comes down to it being such a small cast.
Yep.
Big cast can work too, but you can point out the Avengers and stuff like that. They can work, but there's something about having a smaller cast. It just really makes you focus on character, and this movie is really character driven. Yeah, there's a plot, and the plot is important, but it's a great road movie, and what's great, it's a simple plot.
Yep.
It's point A to point B. That's it, and so everything in between point A and point B, with a couple of plot points here and there, it's almost all character.
Let's talk about the setting. Setting of this movie, set pieces, the location that they are supposedly at. They all film differently. Oklahoma City got an upgrade. That was great. I like that.
Yeah.
Fancy casinos,
casino.
I guess, that really sets Oklahoma
There's one
apart.
casino I know in Oklahoma City, and it doesn't look like that.
No, it don't. They must have got some new investors. No, the setting was great. They ended up. I didn't know Oklahoma had so much corn. You just think we're Nebraska or something. Beside the point, though, it was great. It looked cool for a futuristic city. It was realistic.
That's the thing. It wasn't
futuristic.
It wasn't futuristic at all,
Right.
with a few exceptions of what you would normally like. Some of the stuff that was in the other movies that were in even in the '80s back in Apocalypse. There wasn't anything that didn't fit anything in that.
Well, it was.
I mean, the cybernetic arms and stuff.
It was realistic, futuristic
Yes.
stuff.
It wasn't
Fancy
a
cars.
dystopian. I don't call this a dystopian
No.
future. It's not.
No.
It's a dystopian for the mutants that are around because there are almost no mutants left. But for everyone else who's a non-mutant, it's a perfectly normal world with some shitty problems, just like now. All right, we're going to get into our dislikes now. And before we started recording, we agreed that there was one thing that bugged us, and it's not a dislike necessarily, it was just an aggravating point. But I'll let you go into more detail about that.
Well, it's heavily hinted at around in the movie several times that Professor X does something pretty bad. It's not clearly stated. It's, like I said, it's hinted at maybe 3 or 4 times. Just to have a little bit more acknowledgement or explanation on that one point, and it would have been perfect, I think.
Yeah, because there's an emotional scene that sort of hangs on it at one point in the movie, later in the movie. But I think it would have had even more impact if you had a bit more information about what this one thing that keeps getting inferred throughout the whole movie.
I actually have one more dislike. Maybe not a dislike. I'm just a little sad we didn't get to see it. There's a scene in X-Men Origins where he's fighting Sabretooth.
Oh yeah.
And Sabretooth asked Wolverine, he's like, "Do you even know how to kill me?" And Wolverine's all,
I'm gonna cut your goddamn head off.
X gon' give it to you. Wait for you to get it on your own.
They had an opportunity to do that here. Not necessarily with Sabretooth, but they had an opportunity to do it, and they missed out on it.
I don't know if there's going to be a controversial opinion or not, but, and I don't know, I think you may agree with me, Logan is either better or on par with The Dark Knight.
If I had to choose to watch one of them right now, I would pick Logan. Not because it's new, just I think it's a better movie. This movie will rock your world.
This movie is made up for Origins. Mike,
Yeah.
this is a total forgive me for that. All right, so after saying all that, and I kind of know where you're going, what's your rating?
Oh, it easily gets a Matt Damon in my book. Easy.
Me too. I also give it a Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Matt Damon. Matt Damon. Matt Damon.
And you should go check it out. It's worth it.
It's overall a great film. You're missing out if you don't go watch it. Till next time.
See you later. It's Rascal. He's needing attention apparently. You fat son of a bitch. Look at him. Look at that skin hanging down. I grabbed it one day and he felt violated, you could tell.